Moin Moin and welcome to Ralfs Foto-Bude and Ralfs Photo Flight. Today is the day I make the unboxing of the DJI Inspire 1. You may have seen my first video about the Inspire 1 where I talked about the problems with the EMU, the propellers and the iOS app. I slept one night over the seam and decided, yes, I trust DJI that they solve the problems and that we can have a reliable quadrocopter or drone. And so yes, I will do the unboxing and some more videos in the future, so the assembling, first flight and stuff like this. I also will explain the app and explain you some important points for videos and photography. So today we start with the unboxing of the Inspire 1. Before I show you the box and the Inspire 1 and make the unboxing, I have two points I will talk before. One of the points in the last weeks I get a lot of mails from copter pilots who were asking, is the Inspire 1 the right copter for me when I start flying copters and drones? Or is it better to start with a smaller one like the Phantom? To be honest, yes. It's better to start with a small copter, a ready-to-fly copter, because a copter like the Phantom 2 Vision or Vision Plus is a little bit easier to fly. It's a smaller copter. At the end of the video I will show you the difference in size of the two copters. So it's easier to fly. It's cheaper when you make a crash. It's not like $2,500 or I don't know what the Inspire costs in your country, but in Germany €2,500 or €3,000, depends on the model you have with one or two remote controls. And so it's very expensive when you crash a copter like this, and it's not as easy as the flying is when you fly a small one. It's a bigger one, it's heavier, you have to know a little bit more flying copters, you have to know how to work in the app, and there are a lot of settings you have to do and there are a lot of settings you can do. So it's very good when you have a little bit more experience when you start flying with an Inspire 1. So my personal opinion, if you never have a copter, a quadrocopter, never fly a copter, in my opinion it's better to start with a smaller one than directly to go to the Inspire 1, even if the Inspire 1 is a very interesting product, especially for photographers and videographers. But personally I would start, when you have never flown before, I would start with a smaller one. And the next point, yes, it's boring, but I have to do this because I want that our hobby is going on for the next years, and so it's very important that you check your local regulations, that you check your local laws about flying copters, that you have an insurance if necessary. In Germany you have to have an insurance if you want to fly copters, that you obey all the laws, that you fly away from airports, that you check the regulations depending on your country, and depending on the local laws about publishing pictures and videos. That's also a big problem. You're not allowed to publish everything you have taken in photo or video with your copter. So please take care of the laws and check in the internet, check at the police or anywhere else what is allowed in your country, because when we see guys who were flying far up and far away, were flying around airports and stuff like this, and they load it up to YouTube. The problem is our hobby has to be clear, has to be reliable, and if we see a lot of videos like this, we will get more and more and more regulations, and so it's more difficult to fly and more difficult to have fun in the hobby of flying copters. So please take care of the laws and make your information in the internet or in copter clubs or stuff like this, and so please take care. That's very important. Okay, so this was the long part, or not the long part, but the informative part. Now we come to the Inspire 1. Here we are. The Inspire 1 comes in this box. It's a hard plastic box. I think it's a very good quality. I've measured the box and I think it's too big to put it in the airplane in the cabin. I think you have to put it in the luggage, because when I measured it, I think it's too wide to get it in the cabin. So you have to put it on the belt and to have to check it in. But I think it's good enough if you want to fly. I think it's good enough and stable enough that it won't get damaged on the airplane. Okay, so we have a zipper going around here. Here you can see the zipper and you can put a lock therein. If it's good, I don't know, but yes, you can lock the case of the DJI Inspire 1. So let's open and see what we have inside of the box. Here we are, and that's it. Here is the box of the Inspire. You see the Inspire here, and you see the accessories here, and that's what we want to do now. Look for the accessory, what's in the package of the case here. First of all, we have the propellers here at this place, and as you may know from the Phantom, these are self-tightened propellers. So you have here, you see they are self-tightened. You don't have to use a lock or anything else. But as I said in the first video, DJI will release a propeller lock, because there were some cases where the propeller loosened in the flight and fly away. But my personal opinion, the reason is because they were not tightened enough here on the motors. And I will show you in my next video, when I make the assembly of the copter, I will show you what to obey when you use these self-tightened propellers. The size of the propellers, I think it's a 13-inch propeller compared to the smaller Phantom. They have 9.5-inch propellers, so they are much bigger. And the good thing is you get 2 complete sets of propellers. So when you have a small crash, then you have spare propellers. Very good idea, and as always, DJI gives you an extra set of propellers. And then we have a look here at this side of the case. First of all, you see the flight battery. We have room for 4 flight batteries, 1, 2, 3, and here you can put in the 4th battery. The standard battery comes with 4,500 milliampere hours. That's 99.9 watt hours, 22.2 volt. So this is the small battery. DJI will release a bigger battery with more power. I think 5,300 or 700. I'm not quite sure, but a little bit more milliampere hours. The problem is they have also more watt hours. And I think the limit is 100 watt hours, and if you are over 100 watt hours, you're not allowed, or you're only allowed to take a limited number of batteries in the airplane. So I think this is one problem with the bigger one, but in this moment when I make the video, there are they are not available. I think also the small one are not available, so you only have this one battery actually, and we will see what comes in the next weeks and when the bigger batteries come. But if you don't want to fly, sure, you can use the bigger batteries for more flight time. Okay, so then we have the remote control here. This is the remote control. We have the iPad holder or device holder here. You can put in an iPad or another tablet PC. If you have a smaller one, you can move out this small sliders here, or sliders, and you can put a small device in. You can remove this one to fit the perfect size. I will show you later how this works and how you can adjust this perfectly to your mobile device. And yes, you need a mobile device. Without a mobile device you can't fly the Inspire, because you have to make all the settings in the device, and that's the reason you have to have a device. When we look at the remote control, we have the two sticks. We have the on-off switch, the switch for the landing gear, and on the back side the two antennas here, and beside the antennas there on the bottom we have connectors, special DJI connectors, and important the USB connector and the HDMI connector, so you can connect a second screen, or you can use an FPV device like the Cinemizer or stuff like this, so that's also possible. Here we have buttons and dials. This one I will explain in my next video. When I make the assembly, I will go to every point of the remote control and explain what you have to obey and what for are the buttons and what for are the dials, and how you can customize the remote control. It's very good in the hand. It's a little bit smaller, I think, than the Phantom remote control, but it's very solid. It feels very solid. And yes, I think it's a real nice remote. It's not too big, not too heavy, and so yes, I like this one. Okay, so coming to the stuff under the remote control. First of all, we have a harness here, which you use when you are outside. You see, this is the harness. You can put it then over your shoulder. I think it works like this, and then you have here the remote control. I think this is really good because usually when you fly an Inspire, you don't fly like one battery, you fly a lot of batteries, especially when you make video productions or photo productions, so you have to hold the remote control very long, and that's a good idea to have a solid, real good harness to carry. Then we have the power connector, or yes, that's the power connector, should be in the right one for your country, USB cable, and then we have another charger cable. I think this is another charger cable. I will show you this when we go to the assembly. Then we have here a box with a screwdriver, and I think these are 4 dampers for the gimbal, spare dampers for the gimbal. Then we have the manual here, and I can show you what's in the manual. Okay. So, first of all, we have the intelligent flight battery safety guidelines. Then we have an insulation here. You put this when it's colder than 5 degrees Celsius. You put these covers here in this room to insulate the battery. It says attach the cover to the Inspire 1 battery when the flight environment temperature is below 5 degrees Celsius, and remove this cover when it's above. So I think, I don't know if it's, I don't know how to move and remove it. We will see how this will work. because there's glue on the other side, so I'm not quite sure how I can remove this, but we will see. Then we have the Inspire what's in the box. That's in Chinese and in English. Then we have the disclaimer warning, what you have to obey before you fly. And last but not least, we have 2 quick start guides, one in Chinese and one in English. And everything which is in the English quick start guide, I will show you in the assembly video. So I will go to all these points and explain what for they are, and I will show you what you have to do before your first flight. I will go through the Inspire app to the Pilot app. DJI Pilot app is the name, and so I will explain you every point so that you can follow this and set up your Inspire. Very easy. And yeah, that's it. So this is the manual box here, all the manuals inside. Then we come to the gimbal. The gimbal is extra here. So the gimbal is during your transportation, is not on the copter. There's a quick release to put the gimbal on and off of the copter. So now we open it. This is the gimbal. Here we have the ND filter. The ND filter is important when you take videos in the bright sunlight, so you can make the shutter speed a little bit slower for good videos. You see, this is the ND filter, which comes on the camera if you have to use this one in bright sunlight. And here in the box, that's the gimbal. That's how the gimbal looks like. You can see here. And this one will be attached here on top. There's a bayonet, and then you put it on the copter. That's also the things I will show you in my next video. Here on the side we have the micro SD card slot. There's a micro SD card inside. So they give us a 16 gigabyte micro SD card in the copter. So you see, here we are, here's the lens, and there on top comes the ND filter. Okay, so this is the gimbal. And now before we come to the charger, I have to put this one out. Yes, and here comes the moment. This is the Inspire 1. When you look to the Inspire 1, now it's in the transport position where the legs are almost horizontal, so the height is minimized of the copter. You sure have seen a lot of videos, and there you can see that the copter is, when you start it, the landing gear is down. When you fly, the landing gears goes up, and the propellers too. And so this is the transport position. So let's, before we'll put it on the table, before we do this and make a small comparison to the Phantom, we will have a look here. Here is the charger, and in the charger we have 2 connectors, one for the battery and one for the remote control. So this is a combination, combined charger, I think so. Combined charger where you can charge the remote and the flight batteries. So let's put the copter here on the case. Here we are, and as promised, I will show you the difference in size between the Inspire 1 and a DJI Phantom, so you can see by yourself how different it is. This is the Phantom, and as you can see, the Phantom is not exactly, but almost half the size of the Inspire 1. So this is really big toy. This is not a small one. And so that's in my opinion, A better start, if you want to start flying copters, a better start with a copter like this DJI Phantom or the Q500 from Munich. These are two copters for beginners and for starters, which never flight copters before and which are not used to the remote control and how to handle a copter and stuff like this. And so in my opinion, this is the better entry than this one. When you have flight experience and you know how to fly copters, you know the different topics, what means the different flight modes and stuff like this, then the Inspire is a very, very good choice, I think, what I have seen in the videos, and yes, I will see it by myself. Okay, so this was the first video of the DJI Inspire 1. They're coming up a lot of more videos in the next weeks, because there's a lot of it to explain at the Inspire 1, a lot of to show, and I think there are coming up more spare gimbals and more spare parts, which I also will explain to in my videos. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and as always, when you like my video, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, a friendly comment, and if you want to support me, you can do this if you buy over Amazon link on my homepage, and that's a good support for Ralfs Photo Flight and Ralfs Foto-Bude. That's it for today. Thank you for watching me, and as always, have a nice flight and tschüss und moin moin.